Picture this: an eerie double of yourself, mirroring every action you make, standing right in front of you. A bone-chilling shiver runs down your spine as you come face to face with your doppelganger. You're suddenly enveloped in an uncanny phenomenon that shatters your very sense of self, casting an ominous shadow of doubt on your believed singularity. Could it be that another version of you exists, living a life as a mirror image to yours? This isn't merely a whimsical flight of your imagination, but a phenomenon rooted in the annals of history. Welcome to the mysterious world of doppelgangers. The concept of doppelgangers dates back to the ancient Egyptians, who believed in the existence of Ka, a spiritual double born with every man. Let's step back in time, back to the era of the pharaohs and the pyramids. The ancient Egyptians were fascinated with the afterlife, and this fascination birthed the concept of Ka. The Ka, they believed, was an invisible twin, a spiritual echo that was born with every individual. It was not just a copy, but an integral part of the person, a sort of spiritual DNA, if you will. The Ka lived on after the physical body perished, and it needed to be nurtured and cared for, even in death. This belief profoundly shaped their burial practices, and it's why we see the grand tombs and the intricate mummification processes. But the Egyptians were not alone in their belief of a spectral double. Let's journey northwards to the icy lands of the ancient Norse. Here we find a similar belief in the Vardoga, a spirit predecessor. The Vardoga was a kind of pre-echo, a phantom twin that mimicked an individual's actions before they happened. It's like your reflection in a mirror deciding to have a cup of tea before you even thought about it. The Norse people believed that this spiritual forerunner could be seen or heard by others, often causing confusion, as it would appear that the person was in two places at once. The Vardoga was not seen as malevolent, but was rather considered a part of life's mysteries. From the sun-drenched banks of the Nile to the frigid fjords of Scandinavia, the concept of a doppelganger, a double, echoes throughout history and across cultures. It's a universal idea, a shared piece of our collective human psyche that has intrigued, fascinated, and at times terrified us. So you see, the idea of a double has been haunting humanity since ancient times. As we move into the Middle Ages, the fear of doppelgangers took a more ominous turn, often associated with death and doom. During this time, the concept of a doppelganger or a spectral double was not just an eerie phenomenon, it was a chilling omen that foretold the end of life. The Middle Ages, also known as the medieval period, was an era filled with superstition and fear of the unknown. In this era, the belief in doppelgangers was deeply rooted in the culture and folklore. These spectral doubles were not seen as harmless clones, but rather as sinister harbingers of doom. The appearance of a doppelganger was considered a bad omen, often signaling that the person's death was imminent. There are numerous historical accounts of notable figures who reportedly encountered their doppelgangers shortly before their demise. One such account involves the esteemed Queen Elizabeth of England. It was said that she saw her doppelganger lying motionless on her bed, an experience that was believed to have foretold her death. Another famous tale is of the poet Percy Bysshe Shelley. His wife, Mary Shelley, the author of Frankenstein, recounted that Percy had met his own spectral double. This apparition, according to Percy, had asked him, "How long do you mean to be content?" Not long after this chilling encounter, Percy tragically drowned. These historical accounts, and many others like them, fueled the fear of doppelgangers during the Middle Ages. The sight of one's own spectral double was seen as a tangible representation of their impending death, a chilling reminder of their own mortality. This fear was so pervasive that it often led people to drastic actions, such as performing rituals and wearing talismans to ward off these spectral beings. The doppelganger, it seems, became a harbinger of one's own mortality. The fear of these spectral doubles was not just about encountering an eerie clone. It was a fear of confronting one's own demise, a fear that was deeply rooted in the superstitions and beliefs of the Middle Ages. In modern times, the doppelganger phenomenon has been interpreted in a variety of ways, from science fiction to psychological theories. The realm of science fiction offers a rich tapestry of interpretations. Many a story has been woven around this ancient concept, taking it from the realm of superstition into that of futuristic possibility. In these narratives, doppelgangers are often the result of technological advancements or alien encounters. They serve as a potent symbol of our anxieties about identity in an increasingly interconnected world, where the line between self and other can sometimes blur. A notable example is Philip K. Dick's novel, The Three Stigmata of Palmer Eldritch, where a character encounters a version of himself from an alternate reality. It's a chilling exploration of the doppelganger concept, one that probes the very nature of reality and identity. In the world of psychology, the doppelganger phenomenon has been linked to conditions such as schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. Some theories suggest that seeing one's double can be a symptom of dissociative identity disorder, a condition where a person's identity is fragmented into two or more distinct personality states. Others propose it may be related to out-of-body experiences or hallucinations caused by neurological malfunction or extreme stress. Then there's the intriguing theory of the other self. This psychological interpretation posits that a doppelganger could be a manifestation of the subconscious mind, a visible embodiment of our repressed desires, fears, or aspects of our personality that we're not consciously aware of. Whether in the realm of science fiction or the corridors of psychological research, the doppelganger continues to fascinate. It stands as a symbol of our ongoing struggle to comprehend the nature of identity, the mysteries of the mind, and the boundaries of our own selfhood. It challenges us to ask, who are we really? And what does it mean to be an individual in a world where our double might just be lurking around the corner? Whether viewed as a scientific anomaly or a psychological manifestation, the doppelganger continues to fascinate us. Why does the idea of a doppelganger instill such fear in us? What is it about seeing our own double that unnerves us so much? The fear of doppelgangers, I believe, boils down to two primary factors. The first is the unsettling notion of identity loss. We all hold our individuality dear. It is part of what makes us human, our unique experiences, our distinct personalities, our exclusive identities. These are things we cherish and protect. Now imagine encountering a being that looks exactly like you, talks like you, acts like you. It's as if your uniqueness, your identity is being stolen right before your eyes. It's an existential crisis, a threat to your very sense of self. The second factor is the disturbing concept of being replaceable. We like to believe that we matter, that we have a role to play in this grand tapestry of life. And yet the existence of a doppelganger challenges that belief. If there's someone who can take our place, who can fill our shoes perfectly, what does that say about our significance? It's a thought that can shake one's self-esteem and worth. But perhaps there's a deeper, more introspective reason for this fear. Perhaps it's not just about identity theft or being replaceable. Maybe it's about confronting our own selves, our own flaws, our own mortality. A doppelganger, in a way, is a mirror, a reflection of ourselves. And sometimes what we see in the mirror isn't always pleasant. It's the parts of us we'd rather hide, the parts we're not proud of. So when we see a doppelganger, we're not just looking at a copy of ourselves. We're looking at our insecurities, our fears, our vulnerabilities. It's a stark reminder that we are not perfect, that we are human, and that can be a terrifying realization. Perhaps the fear of doppelgangers is more a fear of confronting our own selves. From ancient beliefs to modern interpretations, the concept of doppelgangers has intrigued and terrified us in equal measure. Throughout this journey, we've delved deep into the shadows of history, tracing the evolution of the doppelganger concept, from its earliest roots in ancient cultures to its complex role in today's world. In the ancient times, doppelgangers were believed to be supernatural entities, mirror images of ourselves, often associated with bad omens or impending doom. This belief persisted into the Middle Ages, where the fear of doppelgangers was often used to explain unexplained phenomena or unfortunate events. As we moved into the modern era, the interpretation of doppelgangers shifted. They became less of a supernatural threat and more of a psychological phenomenon, a manifestation of our inner fears and insecurities, yet the fear persists. The idea of encountering an exact replica of oneself continues to unsettle us, stirring deep-seated fears of identity loss and existential dread. The historical and cultural significance of doppelgangers is undeniable. They embody our collective fears and fascinations, serving as a mirror not just to our individual selves, but to our society as a whole. They force us to confront the uncomfortable questions about identity, existence, and the very nature of self. Whether you believe in them or not, doppelgangers offer a fascinating glimpse into our collective fears and fascinations. Don't forget to subscribe for more spooky facts. Until next time, stay curious.